home run for Brentford, 9 wins in 12 games. Looking good up front from Mbappe. Oh, what a finish by Neil Mbappe. Watkins doing well. Mbappe, Conor, glorious move, and Brentford have made it 2.
Too many off performances today. There's too many players with essentially a lack of effort, lack of confidence, lack of creativity, lack of ideas, lack of effectiveness. So many lack ofs, and that all culminated into one today.
That's it then. I'm gutted. I am. I'm on the floor.
You have to start to do that as soon as possible. We say that Brentford is one of the most well-run club. You know, I love to win and I hate to lose. I think that's my best tool in my football career so far. You know, I love to win.
Never hate to lose. Never hate to lose. Never hate to lose.
Do you know the Klingon proverb that tells us revenge is a dish that is best served cold? It is very cold.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Conor here. I hope you're doing fantastic well, and we are back with your Brentford preview. Hope you're doing really well. And listen, we're into a really tough period now. Obviously Brentford coming up, Stoke away again, and then we've got obviously Stoke at home, then Swansea. So we're getting into a really tough period here. We can pick up plenty of points, but we are going to have to grind it out and show the grit and the determination which is going to get us far this year. So let's get into your opposition preview. So yeah, guys, I've done a lot of research on Brentford because I feel like this is going to be a battle of the titans, really. You know, getting on with Brentford, I genuinely think we're very similar teams. At this moment in time, Brentford, I'm not sure they're fully joined together gelling-wise. I think they're quite disjointed. Watching that whole game, Hull really had the ball and the best of it for about 70 minutes in that game. Obviously, Brentford now, with losing Morpay, they do lose a hell of a lot going forward. Obviously, over 20 goals per season, an excellent striker and someone who has always torn Leeds up when we've played them. Watkins is now up front for them. Obviously, we know a lot about Oli Watkins, don't we? But yeah, he is starting up front for Brentford now. He's taken the mantle of the centre-forward striker role, scored away at Middlesbrough, really good finish actually there at the back post. But there is a few common misconceptions with Watkins in the striker role. The patterns of play for any team will naturally break down from the midfield to the attack when you haven't got an out-and-out striker there providing you with the patterns of play and the movements in an offensive sense. For example, if you put Jack Harrison up front for Leeds United, or Jack Clark, or even Ryan Kent, who were rumoured to get as a false 9, the patterns would break down. Reason behind this is because they are not out-and-out centre-forwards. They are not out-and-out strikers. The movements that they make are going to be disjointed. And I feel after that whole game and that Birmingham game, when we did see Watkins in that striker role, I feel it did break down a little bit. So that, if we played Brentford last time, we saw a lot of Sawyers dropping deep to the defence, getting the ball off the defence, then moving up into the final third of the pitch. Then would have a target man in Neil Morpay. They'd have the wingers, the out-and-out wingers in Ben Rama or Conor, and then they would have Morpay as the out-and-out centre-forward. And those transitions are so important in how Leeds play and in how Brentford play. You saw this massive difference when Force came off the bench for Brentford at the weekend. Force is an under-23s for them. He came in, he's an out-and-out forward, and you could see the patterns of play were improving drastically as soon as he came on because he is a striker. He is making those movements. Obviously, when we talk about the patterns of play in any side, they have to be learned. Brentford have brought in a whole host of new signings during this window. You know, they're going to be on screen right now who they've brought in. And to have any sort of cohesion with the squad, they need to gel together, and that takes time. You know, and Mbembo, who came off the bench the other day, he's only been at Brentford for 6 days. And he looked disjointed. He didn't look like he fit in with the squad. That is going to take time. Have they played Leeds United, or are they going to play Leeds United too soon? Brentford last season and seasons prior have always been extremely dominant in the midfield, you know, with Ryan Woods and Sawyers always dominating play. Have they lost that now? The massive advantage for Leeds United is we have had this team now. This team has bedded into this. We know exactly what to expect, for sure. Click. And the reason I mention those players is because I feel like Leeds United can win this battle in the midfield. Hull City, when you're watching the game, they won that battle in the midfield. Brentford looked very, very weak in that middle. But very much like Leeds, they did come into it in the last 20 minutes. And they obviously did with Birmingham as well. Birmingham, who they battered. That result was a complete anomaly. Birmingham didn't deserve it, but who cares in the Championship? But in the last 20 minutes of that game at the weekend they played, you could see Canos getting on the ball, Canos running, and it does show the depth of that Brentford squad when in certain situations they actually bring Canos off the bench. We know last season when he would come on, obviously a little bit of a cheat, but when he would come on, he does influence the play because he's a magnificent player at this level. They sometimes play a back three to Brentford, but they sometimes play a back four, and Jean-Vier, Henry, and Ratchett, who played at the weekend, they did look quite weak, giving the ball away continuously. If Leeds United are on the game, we're at home, the crowd's with us, we're going to intercept those passes and Leeds will create something. But coincidentally, we will get onto this gentleman in a bit, but Pontus Jansson definitely has shored up the defence. Obviously, they've got Raya at the back as well, but you've sort of seen Ethan Pinnock come in and out of the squad. Jansson has been the mainstay in this squad, and a lot of Brentford fans who have messaged before doing this preview have all raved about him and they think he's doing a wonderful job. You know, last season, would Brentford have lost that game against Hull at the weekend? Problems within the defensive mould. Now, with Jansson there, we know as particular fans, he's able to draw that defence together. He will give you that lift. Might only be short term, but he will give you that momentary lift. What I will say is on the wings, I do feel that we could get at Brentford after watching and sort of analysing, doing a bit of research on them. Rico Henry at left back and Dalsgaard on the other side. They do look susceptible. Once again, Dalsgaard being a new player, is it taking time for them to gel? Rico Henry is a very talented player, but if we put him under pressure, is he going to fall due to the pressure? Obviously, we've had complete success with Harrison, with Pablo, amongst others this season. I feel if we get at them from the off, we're going to cause Brentford a lot of problems. We know who the danger man is. It is Benrahma. Saeed Benrahma is a quality player, arguably one of the top three players in this division, so Leeds United will have to keep him quiet. He can play on the left, he can play on the right, it could be up to Dallas, it could be up to Douglas to keep him quiet, but we have to keep Saeed Benrahma quiet. If we do keep him quiet, I feel Leeds United can win this game. But very similarly to us, you look at their chance creation, you look at the possession, Brentford will create chances, similar to Leeds. It is all about which team takes it. But what I do love about Leeds United this season, unlike Brentford, and this is where the difference is, there is continuity. We have a very similar squad to last season. It's essentially the same squad that plays week in, week out now, similar to last season. They've grown with each other, they know each other's patterns of play, and is that going to be the major advantage Leeds have over Brentford this time, with them having problems with that? Guys, I wanted to touch on Pontus Jansson. You know, he's made his move down there. We don't exactly know how it came to fruition with the Leeds United move. I just wanted to touch on him a little bit. You know, the Take Me Home documentary, he came out and he looked really good, you know, how he was going about, how he was conducting himself. It didn't work out. Do I personally feel that we've got a better centre-back now in Ben White? Yes. Do I feel that he fits our style of play better? Yes. Do I feel he's less mistake-prone? Yes. Do I feel that he's more consistent in each and every performance? Yes. And I think a lot of Championship clubs will see that this season. I think Pontus Jansson is a brilliant defender. I think he's a brilliant defender when it's going well for him. I think when backs are against the wall, he's not as good. But have no mistakes about it. Brentford will be well up for this weekend. They made it obvious last season that they were ready to beat Leeds United. They didn't like how Orta and Radrazani were in the tunnel after the first game, and obviously the mishaps with Alioski, Canos headbutting him, and then Watkins diving in the box. All these events culminated in them beating us down at Griffin Park. A dominant performance, and we've shown, obviously, we've still got the same team as last season. You know, we were injury-ridden last season, you know, 69 injuries, more injuries than any other squad since Real Madrid in 1989. But that continuity could also hinder Leeds United. You know, Brentford are able to bring new things to the park. Are they going to spark? I genuinely think Brentford are the most dangerous team in the Championship. Offensively, they're superb, and defensively, they have shored up. It is just going to be on the day who takes their chances. It could go either way for me. Would I be happy with the draw? I probably would be, and a lot of you are probably going to dislike that, but I do really rate Brentford that highly this season. I do think they will be a top four side, but if we want to show changes from last season, if we want to show how we've adapted, like we did against Wigan. I think it's important for us to get this win. We are at home. We're notoriously very, very strong at home. We pick up a lot of points at home. Can we go away straight away and absolutely blow Brentford out the water? Massive problems in the midfield. The game can be won and lost in the midfield. Leeds have won midfield battles against Wigan. We've won midfield battles against Bristol City. And in a sense, I do think we won it against Forest. It is whether or not we can take advantage of that. You know, our midfield know each other very, very well. Brentford's don't at this moment in time. There definitely is a missing link there with Sawyers and Morpay. So we have to take advantage of this, because as long as the game goes 0-0, I feel Leeds are going to become a little bit frustrated. The crowd might be a little bit frustrated, and Brentford are going to feel that, and they're going to sense it. Janssen will have them absolutely prepped before the game. He's going to get them spurred up for this game as well. They don't need any spurring up anyway. We saw that last season when they played the best game of the season at home against us, because they don't like Leeds. It's notorious. They do not like Leeds. There's been a lot of controversy there. So we're expecting a tough game. It will probably be Brentford's best performance of the season, so Leeds need to match that and better it. My score prediction, guys, I'm going to go with the 2-1 Leeds United win. I think we're just going to have a little bit too much for Brentford. I think it's going to take not a long time, but I think it's going to take 6 or 7 fixtures to actually get this Brentford side absolutely going full throttle, and I think they will go full throttle. Make no mistake about it. I feel like when we go to Griffin Park, Leeds are going to have to up the game even more, because I feel like this Brentford side has got the mould to be in the top 2 this season. But this game, I feel like we're going to have a little bit much for him. I think we're gelling well at the minute. We're good from the back. I feel Ben White is arguably the signing of the season. I think he brings so much defensive stability, calmness, coolness, composure. Something that we didn't have last year, ironically, in certain phases of play with Pontus Jansson. Please like and comment in the section below, and be waiting out for everybody else's review after the game. I hope you've enjoyed, guys. As I said, please leave a like on the video, and I'll see you in a bit.